what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good?
All right, Eli Lilly. Speaking about Twitter, there was a fake tweet that came out from an unauthorized Eli Lilly account, which caused the stock to drop last week.
Yeah.
Forgot how much market value they lost, but they lost a lot of money and market cap.
Yeah.
So
I think people made a bigger deal about that than they should have, though.
okay. So what's the deal with that?
That's your company.
Yeah, it's one. I mean, trust me, they let me know on Twitter. Hey, what happened to your baby? I'm like, it only went down 4%. They were falling before then, so that's the part I want to tell people. Like, people were starting to sell off. There were a couple positions that were starting to be short against it. And Eli Lilly had been running at such a high ticker. It was time for it to come down. Did it have an effect? Yes. The story was they tweeted out insulin is going to be free, and then I was going to say Bernie Sanders came out and said insulin should be free for all. Why do they pay this price for it? And I'm like, I understand that.
Insulin. What is insulin used for?
Diabetes. Okay. Yeah. So he was saying that Eli Lilly charged too much for it. I think that's neither here nor there because I think all medicine is written up too much. But insulin will never be free. Most medical products, pharma products will never be free. Absolutely. And it's one of the last viable sectors that we have in the United States that we dominate. We don't have many of those anymore. So I think remember back in the day when the Nike Colin Kaepernick debacle happened and the stock dropped and it was like, well, it was because of Colin. I'm like, Nike's stock was dropping a little bit before then. Mm-hmm. They put the emphasis, he was the reason. I think this is the same. Like, this is not a primary catalyst for why Lilly fell. It was just like one of the tail. And then from there, it bounced up. So Lilly is still one of my favorites. I mean, if I thought it was going to fall apart over a tweet, but I do think that is why it is dangerous. That anyone can just verify instantly.
Yeah. So speaking about Nike, what is your thoughts on this Kyrie Irving situation?
Shout out to my guy.
With Nike. It looks like they're not going to renew his contract. Looks like he'll be dropped from Nike.
That's been in the works for a while.
Phil Knight got on. He was on TNBC and said that they don't think that they're going to renew. Pretty much, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so
I don't see it happening.
I'll just add my 2 cents to it.
Yeah,
I think it's so crazy. There's a lot to unpack about this Kyrie Irving situation. Mm-hmm. And I see you got Kyrie's album. Was that done intentionally?
No. I was just.
You see the Adidas and Balenciaga collab?
Oh yeah. They had that, but that was already happening. That was
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was already happening.
Okay.
The comment did move the middleman out of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This Kyrie situation is interesting on so many different levels. But for Phil Knight, who's obviously he's a very intelligent person, and he's one of the most successful people ever.
Yes.
And he has one of the greatest companies of all time. Mm-hmm. But it's just crazy that he can go on national television and say Kyrie said something that crossed the line. He actually didn't say anything.
True.
And that lets me know one or two things. Obviously, Phil Knight is old. So
nothing against the older demographic.
No, sure. But either he's not being received. Like, that lets me know that he didn't even really understand what's going on. He's probably being received. They're giving him information, or he might be receiving his information from news or Twitter or whoever, or his internal team or whatever. But it's like, that's kind of crazy that somebody that powerful and that successful can be so uninformed when speaking about his own company. Like, he's tremendously uninformed. It's not even about whether they want to drop him or not. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But the fact that he said something that crossed the line when he didn't actually say anything.
Well, he said something at the practice.
The problem was he wouldn't say what they wanted him to say.
No, but
he didn't say anything.
No, he didn't say anything. The problem is that he shared the link, right? And then they asked him, "Are you anti-Semitic?"
He didn't share a link. He posted it in his story.
Post, share, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's kind of like sharing it. But bottom line is that's what this whole situation is about.
You're in the mood today with the jacket. Hey, clap it up and put yes in chat if you like Shawty's jacket.
Like, if I put watch this, or I put the link to it, that's different.
No, it's sharing it though. Like, if I put a link to this YouTube video in my story, I'm sharing it.
Right, but he put a picture.
You should have put a link up to that video you sent to
the. Put a link also.
Yeah. Oh, did it?
Not what I saw.
I think he put a link. All right, but either way. That's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah.
He never made any statement other than not answering questions. Because they asked him questions and he just kind of avoided the questions and never really answered it. He's never actually spoken other than his apology which that's the crazy part about it too. He actually apologized, and nobody has ever talked about that apology. A lot of people probably don't even know he actually did apologize. There's a whole thing on Instagram with like 4 paragraphs that he actually apologized. And that just kind of got swept under the rug. And they're like, they didn't even accept his apology. They're like, no, this is what you have to do to get back into the league. That's crazy within itself. Ridiculous. But the fact that they said that he said something, he didn't say anything, it just leads you to understand how dangerous this climate of social media is, because narratives can get changed and shaped so quickly that you can start believing things that never even happened. And like I said, this is somebody, it's not just a regular person, this is CEO of Nike. And he's believing a narrative, or even if he didn't believe it, he's repeating a narrative.
Can we be fair? No.
Never even happened.
But I mean, yes, all that's true. But this is the same, not the same level of response from all the companies, but Nike had the same stance when he wouldn't take the vaccine. Right? Before this even happened, before the season started, they told him that they wasn't going to bring him back.
No, they was going to drop him regardless.
Yeah.
They have a right to even say, we're going to drop you because we don't like what you did. That's their right as a company. But what I'm saying is that to speak and just be so misinformed in the conversation is dangerous.
Well, if we're going to be fair, has Phil Knight been more egregious than Stephen A. Smith? Now, I love Stephen A. But Stephen A. has been waging a war against Kyrie for the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he has.
Stephen A., that's a personal situation that he has against Kyrie. And a lot of people, it seems like in media, have personal issues against Kyrie for whatever reason.
Well, I don't know why. But, I mean, I'm very fond of Kyrie. Very good person. I don't think he's represented it correctly in the media. And even like when we went to his house in the summer, like when I asked him like how did, because even when we get the attacks, I'm like, man, the other part that people don't see, like it's hurtful to get attacked. So I'm like, how are you dealing with it? And he was like, I'm still dealing with it now. That was the vaccine thing. So imagine going through this another season on another issue. And we have to be very honest, like Kyrie is a leader, because if you look at the number of people that he stopped from taking that vaccine, it probably cost Pfizer $4 or $5 billion last year by him taking a stand on it. So I think, and to be very honest with the Nike situation, Nike has been trying to move Kyrie out of that deal so they can put Ja Morant in that seat.
Well, and I don't even think it's about replacing it. I just think that
it is.
Because he's still a viable player, but they can't control him.
But can you make the next 8 years on him, or would you rather do it on Ja?
Well, the thing about Nike is that they'll give lifetime contracts. Like they've always had athletes for long periods of time. Even when the athlete's career has gone down, they still have stayed with athletes, and they get new athletes. They're not really pinching penny. Like they
pinched out Penny out them phones.
Well, when his career was over.
No, they still was making his sneaker though.
Yeah, they
still making his sneaker right now.
Yeah, they still have.
He's still getting his royalties.
I don't know how much royalties he's getting.
Because I've heard some.
He's definitely one of their top shoes that are selling. He's probably in the top 10 for them.
I think when Kanye said they can't control him, that was his most recent. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't even want to talk about that.
So he said that they can't control him, and he's right. But I think that Kyrie kind of fits in that bucket where it's like, all right, after a while, corporate, they're like, all right, this is too unpredictable. He might not play because of the vaccine. He might not play because he shares a link and then he gets suspended and, he got to go through all of that. He might just...
While every player didn't have a vaccine.
A lot of players didn't get vaccinated.
But even like him not playing, like right now, like why is he not playing right now?
The Nets have suspended him.
The owners allegedly said that this still has work to do. I'm like,
well, they listed 5 things that he needs
which
to
is ridiculous in itself.
Well, that's a whole different conversation.
Like,
but the bottom
be playing right now.
The bottom line is that Phil Knight was uninformed. That's my take on it. Phil Knight, that's disappointing that you made a statement and what you said just wasn't true. And it's just so crazy that somebody at that level can just say something that is completely false. And like I said, that just goes to show you. I can say anything enough. If you say anything enough, somebody's going to believe it. somebody's gonna believe without even doing any research. There's no level of research done anymore.
Oh, well, I know that for a fact. Like, I just found out like 8 months ago, people wasn't watching the whole show. They was watching clips. I'm like, for real?
Yeah.
I'll see why y'all think I'm crazy. Okay. Like, if you don't get things in context, and then you can wage a war via media and perception, I get it. Yeah. So people are not doing the proper research.
They're not doing their homework?
At all. Very rare.
Context is key.
Shout out to those of you who do. And for those of you who want more homework and want more gains, get your tickets to Market Mondays live in Madison Square.
Please.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. Whole clip going up. I know they can't stand it.